2 chopping boards, one for meat, one for veg. A few bowls to throw stuff into as I'm chopping it up and preparing it. But 2 chopping boards, 2 sharp knives, food processor. So something like a NutriBullet is perfect. You need, you know, depending on how many days of food you're preparing, if you're cooking on Sunday and Wednesday, what you're doing is preparing your, like on Sunday you're preparing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 meals, 9 days. 3 days, 9 meals. And then on Wednesday you're preparing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Again, 3 days, 9 meals. And then on Sunday you're going to just enjoy your food. So at that stage now you need 9 lunch boxes or 9 bags for storage. I will personally I'll leave food in the fridge for 3 days. I'm not too worried about it. Any longer than that, you definitely need to freeze it. And you know, even up to then, you may want to freeze it before, but I live life on the edge. So 2 chopping boards, 2 sharp knives, food processor, 9 bags at the ready. And then you just cook. The cooking can be as elaborate or as boring as you like. You know, last week, the cooking was literally chop up some chilies, garlic, and a bit of ginger and just fry it with some chicken. Not extremely elaborate, not very hard to do at all, but it's done quick and it's done easy. You can boil the rice while you're going, and then by the time you've got all that stuff done, you're probably ready to start cleaning up. That takes less than 60 minutes to do. I'll send you on as well, if you don't have it, a copy of Primal Cooking, a copy of the Detox, and a copy of the Curry Cookbook, which has between them about 150 recipes you can use to start making your food. But like, it doesn't need to be complicated. It can just be chicken, spices, and veg. It could just be steak. Okay, it doesn't have to be a big elaborate thing. If you wanted to go a bit extravagant, you could get, you know, make a really quick and easy green curry. Throw some coriander, some pepper, some ginger, some garlic, a little bit of spring onion, and some coconut milk into a blender. Blitz it up, squeeze the lime juice, throw it into a pot, lash your chicken in, bang. 10 minutes to prepare, 40 minutes cooking, easy. Okay, really tasty, really, really good for you. So that's food prep. 90 minutes on Sunday, 90 minutes on Saturday. Hopefully you all can hold appointments, whether they're things you have to do, like going to work, or things you want to do, like going to see your friends. If you can make time to do stuff like that, and if you can regularly commit to doing stuff, you can regularly commit to this, you just need to make a decision to do it. So that's that. Water intake. Again, these are the last principles now. Water intake, you're looking for 1 litre minimum for every 25 kilos of body weight. And so what that means is, for most people, you're drinking between 2.5 and 4 litres of water per day. The easiest way to do it is just keep a 2 litre water bottle. Starting to get tired now. 2 litre water bottle beside your desk in work. Just keep sipping it. You go in the morning, it's full. By the time you leave, you drain it. If that means you have to chug it back over the last hour, you have to chug it back over the last hour. Again, just make the commitment, make the action. 2 litre bottle of water goes in your desk. By the end of the day, it's gone. Sleep. Okay, so again, we make choices every day without even realizing it. Okay, and we make those choices based on what is easiest for us to do at an immediate point in time. So that's stuff like staying up late, because it's easier to just watch your favorite TV show and go to bed. It's stuff like going to the deli for food rather than preparing it yourself, because it's easier. So sleep becomes a choice, and again, sleep becomes a ritual. What you may need to do, or what you may choose to do, is delay this one for a little while, because if you try and take on too many habits, what happens? You're likely to fail. Anytime somebody starts training, they always want to know, okay, I'm training now, what do I eat? It's like, just get into the habit of this first. Just give it a couple of weeks before you go too hard at it. Your first couple of weeks, you'll see progress no matter what you do. Then when it's time to amp it up, you just start to adjust your food a little bit. Same with this, same with sleep. Okay, if you can do this right away today, brilliant. If not, don't worry about it, come back to it in a couple of weeks. So sleep, what you're looking for is a minimum of 8 hours per night. And again, what I've tried to do is like literally lay this off step by step, so that you can just take like literally this sheet. If you just took this and followed it along with, you'd be fine. So 8 hours of sleep per night. ZMA, zinc and magnesium, basically all it does is it helps you have a deeper sleep. Okay? The deeper your sleep, the better your quality of your sleep, the more beneficial hormones you'll release during your sleep, the more you'll wake up recovered, the less likely you are to overeat and overindulge the next day. So good quality sleep is crucial. With that, that means turning electronics off 30 minutes before bedtime. Okay, so if we're watching something like the latest Expendables film or Fast and the Furious, and you try and go to bed, you're not going to sleep anytime soon. You're going to be amped up. You're going to be wide awake. If you're sitting staring at your laptop screen until 2 in the morning, you're probably not going to sleep until 3 o'clock. So inside of our, again, I don't really want to go into this, but melatonin should help us sleep. It should start to wind down and take us to bed. When you're being stimulated by bright lights, by UV light, by computer screens, by any of that stuff, production is inhibited, which means you're less likely to start to drift off. So you go into this state of like, oh my God, I'm awake, I'm alert. Get rid of that. Okay, so take away the laptop, take away your phone, get an alarm clock. 30 minutes before bed, start reading. Read anything you want. Read a magazine, read a fiction book. Just read something not too mentally stimulating, but something that's also not, something that's not like an action film or your favorite TV show, because that will keep you awake. So, yep.
What about listening to something like listening to?
Like what? Like if you're listening to like heavy metal at like 2 a.m. or something. I didn't repeat the question again. Thanks. What about listening to something before bed? Yeah, like I'll listen to an audiobook before bed, or like I'll have something on in the background. You know, if it's an audiobook, perfect. If it's the radio, awesome. But you just want something that won't like visually stimulate you. That's the main reason. You know, if it's something really intense, probably not the best. But if it's something like normal, I don't want to delve too much into what you're listening to at night. But if it's something relatively normal, yeah, you'd be cool. So that's sleep. Then this other stuff is kind of, it's the stuff to kind of tidy up with that didn't really fit anywhere else inside of this. So one of the most common complaints, and this is especially true like if you have a high pressure job or if you're working for yourself, you go, what happens if I get to a meal time and I'm still doing something? So, you know, you're working on a project, you have a deadline, you're in the middle of doing, like I spent 4.5 years working in audit, so I know all about staring at a computer screen and getting absorbed in work. If you're face deep in work, and then all of a sudden it's 1 o'clock, it's lunchtime, and you go, oh shit, I'll just finish this. Like I'll just get the last half hour of work in, and then I'll go. For most people, if you've got regular scheduled eating times, by the time you get to like an unfamiliar time, you're going to be starving, and you'll end up eating a poorly selected meal. So the easiest way to counteract that is to just set a timer for 15 minutes before you're meant to eat. If you've got a smartphone, you can just set them recurring Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday. Set your timer for 15 minutes before you're supposed to eat. Once it goes off, you go, right, now 15 minutes to get my thing finished. That should be enough for you to tidy up whatever you're doing, or to at least find a definite stop point in that time. If you finish before that 15-minute block, go and eat. But you know, during that 15-minute block, your objective is to tidy up whatever you're doing, to close off whatever you're doing, and get on top of it. Don't miss a meal ever. The reason why you never want to miss a meal is because if you do miss a meal, all of a sudden your body goes, right, I've missed a feeding time, I'm due X amount of calories, I'm due X food, so now I better make sure I get it at my next meal, or I'm going to get it at my next available opportunity. So your blood sugar levels have started to dip down here, and once they hit that danger zone, your body will shit itself and go, right, I need all my calories. So you're up here again, and then bish bash bosh, you're overeating. So if you do miss a meal, get it in as soon as possible afterwards. So whatever that is, if that means you miss a meal at 1 o'clock and you don't get to eat again until 4, and then you have dinner at 6, eat at 4 and eat at 6. Okay, those 2 meals back to back won't make you gain weight. Eating later in the evening won't make you gain weight, provided you stay within these ranges. Yeah, so if you miss a meal, eat the next one at the earliest opportunity, even if it means doubling up. In all of this stuff, hunger is always the enemy. Anytime you get hungry, it's usually a pretty solid sign blood sugar levels have dropped, and once they've dropped, all bets are off. You cannot out-willpower your body for too long. You'll last a couple of weeks, you'll last a couple of days, but eventually your body will kick back. So if you ever get to a state of hunger, you're screwed. You need to eliminate that straight away. Earlier we spoke about the hunger, the types of hunger. The kind of mentioned is like the sugar hunger, where you go, oh shit man, I need something fast. I'm gonna just eat whatever I can get my hands on. Like real food hunger is like a gnawing hunger in your stomach that goes, it's kind of time to start eating now. You might want to think about that. It's not like a ravenous, I'll eat the freaking kettlebell if it's covered in chocolate hunger. It's a, you know, it's almost time to eat. I better go in source of food. Okay, did you get the two distinctions? You know, when you've got that second type of hunger, things are going pretty well. And that second type of hunger you can tolerate, you can ignore, and you can work through. This links back then to what we were talking about, the water. You can become dehydrated without even realizing it. If your lips are dry, if your mouth is tacky, or if you go to the bathroom and your pee isn't clear or pale yellow, you're probably dehydrated. And if you're dehydrated, one of the first things that's going to happen is you'll feel hungry. Is it really hunger, or is it just not having enough water? So if you do get that immediate onslaught of hunger, just have a pint of water and see what happens. Give it 15-20 minutes. If you're still hungry, it's time to eat. If you're not, cool, you're dehydrated. Just wait till your next meal time. You know, if you've got, let's say breakfast at 7 o'clock, you've got your first shake at 10 o'clock, you've got your lunch at 12, you've got your next shake at like 3 or 4, and then you've got dinner at 7 or 8. Like, that's not a huge amount of time to have to tolerate hunger if you do have it. Okay, like, you'll get through it, you'll keep occupied. And then coffee, try to consume no more than 3 cups per day, purely because, you know, coffee shouldn't be a crutch. The better you get at eating like in this style, the more sustained your energy levels will be. You won't have the big ups and downs. Does everyone get to like post-lunch crash? Or yeah. Again, it just happens because you've had too much of something at lunch. Like you've had a big fat roll, you've had big carvery, blood sugar levels shoot up into the sky, they drop off about an hour or two later, and you go, right, I need something to pick me up. And that something becomes biscuits or it becomes coffee. It's an immediate energy hit in some way, shape, or form. Not as bad. Less caffeine, but still not perfect. Anytime you have something you need, it's probably not good. God damn it! Thanks, Leah. Yeah, I'm gonna pretend like I'm kind of